Here, let's talk about the games happened on the 10th, 2022, Monday. We had 7 games, and this week the volume of games compared to last week is very little. So, streaming kind of becomes important, in weeks like this. Let's just jumping right into the first game. The first game is the Milwaukee Bucks lost to the Charlotte Hornets. What's going on? Giannis Antetokounmpo, 26, 13, and 8. Just another Giannis game. His counting stats super solid every single game. There's really not much else to say. Chris Middleton has picked it up with the absence of Jrue Holiday. Took 19 field goals. That's what you want to see more out of him. 27 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. He hasn't been good had 7 turnovers as well. He hasn't been good at all. This is a great game to get back on track. Bobby Portis played high minutes but struggled. Lately, he has not been good. If you sold high on him, if you got him for a top 50 player, congratulations. He was getting unbelievable number of defensive stats. That was not going to sustain. And it's showing lately. He's still a hold, obviously. Any starting center in the NBA that played 30 minutes, they just automatically become must roster. In the last 2 weeks, 123rd ranked player. So just a hold. No need to do anything. Averaging 0.4 steals and 0.4 blocks. So once those go up, he could be like a top 70, 80 type of player. Still pretty good, decent. Good value rest of the way. And Jordan Nwora had 18 points. Jrue Holiday is still out. And I think... what's his name? Grayson Allen is also out. So him and Wesley Matthews in the short term you could stream, but realistically you would have better options out there. And Dante DiVincenzo played just 16 minutes. This guy was I think he was getting drafted in the draft a couple years ago, two years ago maybe, because he was he was getting a lot of steals. But those days were long gone. Don't trust this guy. I would just leave him on the waiver wire. Pat Connington also made a comeback. Also played pretty horribly. We could also, not worry about him. For the Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo Ball struggle. He's been struggling, ever since from COVID. In the last 2 weeks, yeah, I think he's a huge buy low at the moment. 146 ranked player. I look at him as a top 12 player. So like, if you can get a Fred VanVleet, man. It's tough to say. Fred VanVleet also been playing so well, but it's a huge battle. Try to do a 2-for-1. Maybe those are the best trades you could do. I would throw him a two top 50 players, and see if I can get him. Maybe a top 50 and a top 30. Try to do those type of trades. He has not been good at all. Coming back from COVID, I wonder if that had anything to do with his production, but still pretty solid. Just because the guy in fantasy just does everything. Defensive stats, assist, really good free throw, hit threes, and score. I mean, just does everything. And also grab a lot of rebounds. He's a tall guard. Terry Rozier, keep it going. 27 for... Yeah, like I would do a Terry Rozier plus somebody to get LaMelo Ball. Terry Rozier plus Miles Bridges for LaMelo Ball in category leagues, of course. In points leagues, it's obviously very different. In category leagues, LaMelo Ball is way ahead of those two guys. Like I would do 2-for-1 for him. Terry Rozier just really beat my expectations the past 2 years, and the efficiencies looks like it's coming back up again. But if you look at his numbers in category leagues, what he really provides is he provides a lot of threes with good efficiency. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. So a lot of efficiencies, I feel like it's not sustainable from a counting stat perspective. Other than the threes, I mean, sure, points. He's gonna give you 18 points. Points and threes is nice. But if you have a guy like Jordan Clarkson who's gonna average 16 points and 2.5 threes, they're not that far off. The difference is, I guess Terry Rozier also get a bunch of defensive stats as well. But the biggest difference is the efficiencies. On the season, let me just quickly take a look at Terry. 44th ranked player actually, averaging 1.2 steals on the season. Still just shooting 43%. on 15 field goals a game. But most importantly, he's only turning the ball 1.2 times. That's actually really good for a guard. And he gets 3.4 assists. But to me, if you can get a top 40 player for Terry Rozier, you do it. Mason Plumlee, the minutes. PJ Washington is back. PJ Washington went off, had 4 steals and a block, 5 assists, even though he didn't shoot the ball well. Cody Martin also played pretty well, had three steals. I mean, this team got a lot of quality players. And with what's his name? Shoot. With Kel Oubre out, we could stream Cody Martin and PJ Washington, just see where things go, because they're gonna get a few extra minutes, and they put up numbers. Those guys give them minutes, and we see in here versus the Bucks, who is a decent defensive team. Miles Bridges also played high minutes. Him and Terry Rozier had an okay game. The biggest issue with him has been his free throw. Everything else is pretty solid. And Gordon Hayward did a bit everything. All right, let's go to the next game. The Jazz. This was an embarrassing loss for the Jazz at Detroit, 116-126. Well, they've been losing games without Rudy. Maybe Rudy is their best player because they've been winning games without Donovan. But Rudy is such a big part of their team identity, Yeah, maybe that just shows. Donovan Mitchell played decent, pretty good, 31 points, two steals, 4 assists with 3 threes. Took 25 field goals. Super, super high field goals. You may want to distribute the ball a little bit. And he was a minus 22, while Mike Conley, who played 32 minutes, was a plus 10. 13 points, 8 assists, and 2 threes, and already game from him. And Whiteside, we got to stream Whiteside without Rudy, if you're looking for those rebound and blocks. Went off here, 2 steals and 3 blocks. This guy, man, give him 30 minutes, he could still put up numbers. Just like he did a couple years ago. 1 year, he was the 7th ranked player, leading the league in blocks. Give the guy minutes, he can put up numbers. I think we all know that. A good stream for Wednesday if Gobert is not back yet. Bogdanovic, just another average game. And Royce O'Neal has been putting up some nice numbers. He had 3 steals here. Nothing else, but over the past 3-4 games, he's picked it up a little bit. He's a guy we could always stream if they got a good schedule. But I don't think Jazz got a good schedule this week. But if they do, he's always a guy we could stream. And Jordan Clarkson had 16 points and 4 threes. Still on a block, just Jordan Clarkson numbers. He's a guy we could for sure stream if you're looking for points and threes. One of the best guys out there, better than Duncan Robinson, who's being, pretty bad this year. On the Detroit side, couple guys went off. Connington, really good game, 29 points, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. And most importantly, good efficiencies. Made all his free throws, good field goal, and 5 threes. He's been underwhelming a little bit. This is a really good game. And against the Jazz, without Rudy, Jazz is obviously a different team, but still pretty impressive. Sadiq Bey, again, great game. He was struggling, and now he's back. That's why sometimes you just got to hold it. 29 points, 5 threes, 6 rebounds. You obviously should try to sell him. A lot of the things he's doing is not going to be sustainable. But then again, a lot of the things he was doing earlier in the season was very bad. So it's going to even out in the end. 45th ranked player in the last 2 weeks, averaging 21 points and 4 threes, and adding 7.4 rebounds. So all those numbers are pretty high. If you can do a 2-for-1, try to get a top 50 player. That's something I'll be doing. And again, Jeremy Grant is out. When he does come back, Sadiq Bey is still gonna play the minutes, but I'm not sure about the usage though. Isaiah, Diallo only played 24. I think he's close to a drop. But they have a back-to-back. I think they got another game on Tuesday, so you could hold on to him for another game or 2 and then drop him. Isaiah Stewart, 3 blocks and 6 rebounds. I think in category leagues, he's a guy that we still want to, somebody in your league needs to have him at least. If it's not your team, somebody else need to pick him up. He's not providing anything other than the rebound and blocks, which is still valuable, right? Like almost all the centers in the league need to be rostered. Like centers that play over 27, 28 minutes a night, because they're going to provide rebound and blocks. So, and he only played 22, was in a little bit foul trouble. He's gonna be up and down. I think we all know it, but just because he provides the blocks, which is super pretty hard to get, you wanna have him. Killian Hayes, he could be a streamer, and that's all he is. And in the short term, I think we could also look at Trey Lyons and more, because they got a good schedule. Before this game, you probably want to stream some of those like Trey Lyons, Josh Jackson, and Corey Joseph because they got a back-to-back. All three guys played okay. They all scored over double digit. And Trey Lyons, in 28 minutes, he took 16 shots, second most on the team. Maybe that's not the most ideal for them to win, but they got the win, so that's great. Let's look at the next game, the Indiana Pacers losing to the Celtics in overtime. Let me plug in. Celtics, another great win for them. Every win is good. They put together a couple wins. They won 2 straight. Okay, still just 10th seed in the Eastern Conference, and Pacers, they gotta blow it up. They're not going anywhere. Guys like Sabonis and is a huge sell high at the moment. But again, he's a guy that's not so easy to sell high on because his rankings in category leagues are not great because he's free throw. That makes him hard. Like he's gonna be at the top 30, 40, but realistically, if you pound free throws, he's like top 10. So can you get equal value back? I don't know. But he played 44 minutes here. Another issue is like he might run out of gas. He only took 12 shots for whatever reason. Had 10 assists here, which is great. 23 rebounds, huge rebounding numbers, and a steal, 11 points. A pretty good game. Miles Turner played just 23 minutes. You don't see Miles Turner in foul trouble all that often, this season at least. He had some foul trouble here, but provided 2 steals and 3 rebounds. This is the matchup between Miles Turner and Robert Williams, both monster fantasy players. Kind of similar, obviously. Justin Holiday, 11 points, 2 steals. Like you could stream this guy for 3-cent steals in the short term because guys out. Dwayne Washington, Kiefer Sykes, not really interested. Lance Stevenson still got his though. Played 31 minutes, 14 points, assist, and 4 rebounds. He's a guy we could stream. If Malcolm Brogdon is still out. Brissett played 34 minutes. He's a guy that, if Sabonis or Miles Turner gets traded, we could potentially look at him. If he can find a way to get 30 minutes. This guy gets a lot of defensive stats. So gotta love him. Torrey Craig played 31 minutes. So the minutes this game is a bit weird. Some of the starting guards didn't really get over 30 minutes. They didn't play the overtime minutes. Torrey Craig did, but it's just one game. This Pacer team, I imagine they're gonna have some pieces traded by the end of the season. Once we get to the playoffs, there's some players potentially we can pick up, and they could potentially be top 50 players. Potentially. For the Celtics, Jason Tatum struggled with his shot again, 24 points. 10 for 11 from the free throw line is really good. I have to point that out. 12 rebound is decent, but everything else is really bad. Had 8 turnovers. Really, really bad. Al Horford, him and Robert Williams, they just can't have a good game. Both of them cannot have a good game at once. What a game from Robert Williams, 4 steals and 3 blocks, 12 rebounds. Him and Miles Turner, they're both very, very scary. I still prefer Miles Turner over Robert Williams, but lately that's not been the case. Robert Williams got to be inside the top 20 in the last 2 weeks. Just big game after big game, yeah. Forget about top 20. 4th ranked in 9 category leagues, averaging 1.7 steals and 3.8 blocks, shooting 82%. When this man has it going, he has it going crazy. Do you want to sell high on him? Top 15, 20. Otherwise, I mean, unless you can get a top 15, 20, just hold. He's going to be up and down. He might miss some games even. But the blocks, man, the blocks. If you average over 3 blocks a game that week, you're going to be inside the top 20. Really, really good in the last 2 weeks. And made all his free throws as well. Just being a monster. Jaylen Brown, 44 minutes. Also, minutes is super high. 26 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 assists with the block. Also, a huge game from him. This game went to overtime, so everybody, these guys, played some extra few minutes. on their team. And Marcus Smart exited the game, I believe, had 5 turnovers before he did. I don't think it's really something really serious. Yeah, he had a thigh contusion, so it's not too serious. He might miss a game or two. He should be back. And with Marcus Smart out, you'd expect Dennis Schroeder to come back and play huge minutes. He only played 21, which is obviously not good. I was gonna say like you could move on from him. The fact that this game went to overtime and he only played 20 minutes, but now Marcus Smart is hurt. So maybe next team Dennis Schroeder can come in and play 35 minutes. But every time he goes off, you got to try to sell him. Josh Richardson also, if Marcus Smart is out, he's going to get a few more minutes. So you could stream him, had a steal and a block and 9 points. He's been getting a lot of defensive stats. This is more like the Miami Heat Josh Richardson. Over the past couple years, he didn't really focus on the defense. On this Celtics team, that's what he's going to do. Playing defense and hit some open threes on the offensive end. So I'll look to stream him, if Smart ends up missing some time. I see him getting extra minutes. And if Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum ever misses time, he's a good pickup. It will be a good stream. All right, let's go to the next game. The San Antonio Spurs. Knicks got a great win over the Spurs. They're still without Derek White. DeJounte Murray, one-man army. At this point, 24 points, 2 steals and a block. The defensive stats keep coming in, and everything else also pretty good. Great efficiency, hit 1-3, even 24 points. He's just so consistent, putting up big numbers after big games after big games. Jakob Poeltl played just 24, but had 2 blocks, 10 rebounds. He's been also been pretty good lately. And with him, you gotta. Well, I take that. He's ranked 180th because he's shooting 40% from the free throw line, 3.43 attempts. But if you pound him free throws, the rest of the line looks pretty good. So let me just quickly do that. Free throw pound, see in the last two weeks where he is at. Poeltl, 60th ranked player. Okay. So not amazing if you pound free throws. But in the years to come, in category leagues, if you draft Jakob Poeltl, you gotta pound free throws. You just have to think about pounding free throws. Because he doesn't even make 50% of them. He doesn't go to the line that much. But it just hurts your free throw pretty big. Joshua Primo played 28 minutes. Not really interested in any of the Spurs guys, to be honest. And Thaddeus Young, where is he? With all the guys out, he still hasn't played. He could be a nice backup power forward. I don't know. They're doing youth development. The weird thing is he was getting minutes. If they were going to do youth development, why give him minutes earlier? I don't know. And then let's look at the Knicks. Interestingly, Evan Fournier came back but played just 22 minutes with Kemba Walker out. We don't know when Kemba is back, to be honest. He could miss a few more games. There's a reason why they didn't want to play him high minutes. Just give him that 20 to 25 minute role. Hopefully he comes back soon. Emmanuel Quickly. We could stream Emmanuel Quickly with Kemba out. 12 and 6, not the best game, but if he has a great game, he will play 30 to 35 minutes. It's not guaranteed that he only played 25. If he has it going, then Coach Thibodeau is just gonna ride with him. That's how things go. So he could be a good stream. Evan Fournier had an okay game before, not before he left, but in just 22 minutes, 18 points and 2 steals. We could stream him, but when Kemba is back, we gotta move on from him. Alec Brooks also played 32. Had decent. He's been getting a lot of steals lately. 2 steals and 16 points and 3 threes. Still a must roster. Be putting up pretty good numbers. Mitchell Robinson, 32 minutes. Had 1 steal and 4 blocks. Here we go. Finally a good block game against a bad Spurs team. Also played 32 minutes. When the others don't want to come back, they're gonna split the minutes. But both guys probably need to be rostered. And what's going on with Julius Randle? What is going on with him? 2 points, 12 rebounds, a block. He is a buy low, but something is wrong with him. Something is wrong with him. He just hasn't been himself, and the fact that he only took 7 field goals, I don't know if he's hurt or anything like that. But I'm, obviously a buy low, but I'll be a bit careful. I want to see what happens in the next few games. still a battle. You could be safe. Try to throw him like a top 70 player or like a true top 100 player to get Randall. It will be tough because he was drafted in the second or third round. But otherwise it's fine. Like something seems wrong with Randall. RJ Barrett, like if Randall misses time, the usage is wide open, right? Like Alec Brooks, RJ Barrett, those guys could have a huge usage boost. RJ took 20 field goals this game, 31 points, went off again. I know guys like this, like Kyle Kuzma, RJ Barrett, because their rankings are pretty bad in category leagues, they get hated a lot. But if you look at this objectively, they provide a lot of counting stats. So if you're not worried about your efficiencies, they could be like after this game, you have to think about picking up RJ Barrett if he's still out there on the waiver wire. Pretty good stuff he's been doing, pretty impressive. 31 points here. But next game he could just go back to really bad. Goes 2 for 6 from the free throw line and just lose you that week, right? Lose your free throw that week. The rest of Quentin Grimes came in, played 28 as well. Another guard player. 6 assists, are still on the block. He's a guy that we could also look potential to stream if the Knicks got a good schedule, but they don't. They only have, I think after today they only have 2 games left. So, yeah, maybe that's not the guy you want. All right, let's go to the next game. The Philadelphia Sixers beat the Houston Rockets. The Rockets, they were winning games without Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. And now everything goes back to, well, they did play the Sixers. Sixers not a great away team though. But Joel Embiid, easy work, 26 minutes. But does it matter? 31 points, 13 for 13 from the free throw line. Just huge numbers from Joel Embiid. If you complain about him earlier this season, I don't think you can anymore. He just that dominant, if he stays healthy. Per game basis wise, Joel Embiid is 7th ranked player. Last year he was top 3. He had a pretty bad start of the season. Otherwise he could be top 3, top 4, easy. Matisse Thybulle played 26 minutes with Danny Green back. Matisse Thybulle is gonna lose some minutes, but still fine to hold as a defensive specialist. Had 3 steals here. Against the Rockets, I'm surprised he only got 3. Let's see how many turnovers Kevin Porter Jr. Well, Kevin Porter only turned the ball over 7 times. It was Jalen Green who turned it over 7 times. Okay, cool. Tobias Harris, 13 points, is still on 2 blocks. I mean, it's just defensive stats. If you want some defensive stats, go to the calendar and see who is playing Houston Rockets, and then pick up a guy there. I think that'll get you some defensive stats. Joel Embiid, Danny Green, is still on the block. Just the 20 minutes. If his minutes ever get close to 30, we could stream him. Otherwise, just 20 minutes of Danny Green out. And also, this game was a blowout. Otherwise, you got maybe 4 or 5 minutes extra. Furkan Korkmaz, 28 minutes, a steal, 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 threes. So he also played okay. Seth Curry was out this game. If Seth Curry continued to miss time, you could stream him for some points and threes. This guy is not afraid to shoot. Andre Drummond, because he was a blowout, coming, just had a double-double in just 17 minutes. 13 points, 10 rebounds, a steal and block. Man just put up numbers in the last 2 weeks. Every time I look over Andre Drummond, he's being 91st ranked player in 16 minutes. That is super, super impressive. Average 8 rebounds, 1.8 steals, and 0.8 blocks. And 64% from the field also helped. Just a permanent monster. All right, let's look at the Rockets. Just bad across the board. Who should we start? I don't know. Starting Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green just doesn't. That's just not a good fit. Both guys played really pretty horrible, to be honest. 4 turnovers for Kevin Porter Jr. Bad from the free throw game, bad efficiency. Had 6 rebounds and 5 assists, but who cares? He's not a must roster. If your team is not punting 2 of the 3 categories. If your team is punting 2 of the 3 categories, he's a guy, it's fine to have him. So if you got him, you're trying to get rid of him, go to the team that's punting all efficiency categories. Just try to get anything back, right? Because if you have him on your team, he's really hurting you. He's really hurting you in 3 categories. Jalen Green, 14 points, 7 turnovers. He's trying to be like Kevin Porter Jr. And he started at the shoot a point guard. Yeah, it's just not good. Why not just start at Garrison Matthews? I think it might make more sense, to be honest. Have Garrison Matthews with Kevin Porter Jr. and yeah, run both Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green just not great. And I think they're gonna, because of the guards play, they're gonna impact Christian Wood as well. Christian Wood was playing decent when those guys were out, having a higher usage and all that. But playing along those 2 guards, you're just not gonna get the ball that often. 14 points here, just bad. This is early season Rockets, we know. Garrison Matthews, Eric Gordon is out, so we could maybe actually stream him for a few games. Kenyon Martin Jr. played 22 minutes, had 2 blocks. That's pretty good. He's a guy that if he ever get minutes, you gotta remember to look at him. All right, let's go to the next game. The Brooklyn Nets lost to the Portland Trailblazers at Portland, but man, this is ugly. This is getting ugly. Like, you can say Harden has been bad. In this game, Harden didn't play due to rest reasons. So it was Kyrie and KD. They still lost. Something's wrong with this Nets team. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Kyrie played 39 minutes. He's going to play again Wednesday. So that's great if you got Kyrie. And, not a decent, okay game. But by Kyrie's standard, it was below Kyrie standard game. 22 points, a steal on the block, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Did a bit of everything. And Kevin Durant, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 assists. KD has been turning it up. KD has been so good, to be honest, all season. Not missing that many games too. Like, he's played Kevin Durant. He's the 3rd ranked player. He surpassed Steph Curry. But he's played 34 games, man. He's played 34 games. James Harden played 34 games. LaMelo Ball played 35. He missed a couple due to COVID. So if you drafted him, that's just super, super good. Like, Donovan Mitchell played 37. Like, Chris Paul is the only guy inside of that top 20 to play more games. Chris Paul played 39, and he didn't miss a game. Really, really good stuff from KD this year. And just the Achilles injury just didn't matter to him. Didn't matter. Good stuff from KD. I don't know what else to say. David Duke, DeAndre Bembry. Clarkson got hurt in just 30 minutes. So if Eldridge comes back, we could pick up Eldridge. He might have some nice values in the short term. DeAndre Bembry, David Duke, let's not worry about him. And Ken Thomas came off the bench, provided some offense, 21 points and 3 steals, but he's not consistent. Patty Mills. With Kyrie Irving, he came off the bench. Not great. Like, without Harden, right, nobody really got, they didn't generate, they got 23 assists, so that's okay at the end of the day. But I think with Harden, sets up Patty Mills pretty well. Without Harden, not only he came off the bench, but didn't really take that many 3 shots, only took 5 here. And let's look at the Blazers side. A lot of people went off. Anthony Simons, 23, 11, and 6, and 2. I mean, he's just basically a mini Damian Lillard, right? I would try to sell him, though, because CJ is out. We have Norman Powell out. And I just don't think he could sustain this level of production. He took 24 field goals here, too. Try to get do a 2-for-1, maybe try to get a top 30 type of player back, top 40. He's going to have good value the rest of the season, sure. But to me, he's probably just around the 80, top 90. Lately, he's been really, really good. And especially the assist numbers. Ben McLemore played 30 minutes. We could stream for the next few games because Norman Powell is out. Who is there? Nobody. So he's going to get close to 30 minutes, I believe. Yusuf Nurkic, because with everybody out, he's going to get a few extra minutes. Did not have the best game here, but his outlook for the rest of the season should be better than the first half. Like, he could move inside that top 50. He was playing 25, 26 minutes. He should be getting more minutes without the situation going on in Portland. Robert Covington, what a game. He had 3 steals and 3 blocks just the other day, and then did it again. With, I think maybe just, I don't know. The defensive stats, I know for Robert Covington, if he put his mind on it, he could definitely get them. Maybe he's just a bit disengaged. And now that everybody is hurt, he's like, okay, I gotta do more for this team. Really good stuff. Try to sell him high, obviously. But players like this in category leagues, he could even be top 10 player in the next 2 weeks and then be outside of 200, right? Unlike like some other guys like LeBron, Jokic, KD, they will never be outside of 50, I think. Those guys will, even they have a bad week, they will never be outside of 50. But Robert Covington can. So the variance is very high. So when you try to sell him high, think about what you can get, top 20, top 30. You got to aim high, I think. Otherwise, just hold. It's fine. That's a little. You could always stream him. The minutes is also super high with him this game. Larry Nance Jr. is still out. When he does come back, Robert Covington might lose a few minutes. We don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. All right, let's go to the next game. The last game of the night, Cleveland put it out. Pretty impressive, 109, 108. Well, the Kings lost 5 straight. Evan Mobley played 42 minutes. What a game. Look at the stat, man. Good efficiency everywhere. 7 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and 2 blocks. What a beast. Evan Mobley, probably you drafted him in the last 2-3 rounds. Really, really good stuff from him all season. Lauri Markkanen, 3 threes, 15 points. Just Lauri Markkanen numbers. Jarrett Allen, a monster game again, but only shot 57% from the field. That's bad for him. That's below his average. 17 rebounds, a steal and 2 blocks. Jarrett Allen has been solid all season. Another reason why Cavaliers been doing so well. Obviously, Darius Garland also been playing really, really well all season. Darius Garland, the last 2 games, I think he had some soreness. He was questionable this game coming in. He ended up playing. Still, didn't score a lot, but 11 assists is still good enough. He should also be pretty good the rest of the season. Cedi Osman had 15 points. And Rondo, he's having that 20 to 25 minute role coming off the bench, mainly playing the point guard next to for Darius Garland. So he doesn't really have that much upset. You could stream him for assist. Sure, in 20 minutes he could get you 5, but that's all he does. Not a must roster guy. At the moment though, if Darius Garland is ever out, then if he can come and play 30, then he become a must roster. He can put up huge numbers given the minutes. Rajon Rondo. For the Kings, Harrison Barnes, another bad game. Marvin Bagley, 10 rebounds. Guys like this, the Kings, every time I look over, only Tyrese Halliburton intrigues me. Everybody else's stat is bad 90% of the time. Right? Alex Len went 2 for 13. How do you go 2 for 13 as a center? He did it here this game. Well, to be fair, the Cavaliers' front court is got amazing length, amazing defense, so 2 for 13, but that's still bad. Had a block. And Tyrese, wow, really pretty line. 2 threes, 21 points, 8 assists, 3 steals, and a block. He's going to be a top 40 player rest of the way. And if De'Aaron Fox gets traded, he could even be better. De'Aaron Fox, man, 12 points, 2 steals, 4 assists. At this point, if you own De'Aaron Fox, you really want to trade. Either get him out of there or trade Tyrese Halliburton. Do something. It's clearly not working out for both of them. Well, Tyrese is still going off, but De'Aaron Fox is not. Most nights he's just bad. To be honest, he's just really bad. Still a hold. What are you gonna do? Don't sell him low because, if you can't get a top 50 player, I would think about doing it. But other than that, you just gotta hold. He does have the potential, but has not done it this season all year. Pretty bad. And Buddy Hield came in and played 27 minutes. I think Buddy Hield and Jordan Poole, they're gonna be they're gonna be kind of similar. Is like, oh, you can drop them, but you're not gonna have better value. And those guys are providing, like, Buddy Hield probably better than Jordan Poole because he makes more threes. But this game here is not bad. 19 points, 2 steals and block. Had 5 threes, but he only played 27 minutes and only took 11 field goals. That's not going to be enough most nights. He needs to take more field goals. Otherwise, pretty good line. And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.